What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bad Batch Roundtable, and happy Thanksgiving. Yes, long holiday. Happy
Merry
4th
Christmas.
of July.
Yes, it's hotter than hell, but he wants it to be Thanksgiving. I don't blame him.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Yeah.
Happy standard issue holiday.
Yeah, there we go. Happy holiday. There we go. How's it going, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good. You
Pretty good.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little rushed, and a little late. Sorry for being late, everybody in the chat. You know, we had technical difficulties, Tim. But yeah, we're here.
Wow, it wasn't Chris's fault for a change.
Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was literally almost like passed out. Like,
that's almost as good as the stare I get from LDG. That's awesome.
I liked your attire the last show, though, Tim. You were wearing a tie and everything. I felt really, underdressed.
Yeah, what the hell was that tie about?
That's why my camera was off all the time because I was like, God damn.
Loki, in that variant costume, he wears like that suit. That's why I was referencing that. So I was hoping someone got it. But on TikTok, I wore the outfit, and someone's like, "Dude, you should cosplay Loki." I was like, "Hey, that's a good idea." So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I was off my game last show. It's all Chris's fault.
Well, I want to go ahead and start, and I want to thank everybody in the chat. Most of them is on the panel. Thank you guys. Abraham Morales. What's up, man?
Hey, Abraham, what's going on?
Thanks for coming in, man. Daniel Lyon, thank you for being here. Really, Guyskar, you too. Tim, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Danny, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you for popping in.
Danny's not going to join us?
No, he's busy. Yeah, he's working.
Covert ops.
We could tell you that we would have to kill you.
Yeah.
You have to find me first.
He just tells us the basics. We just fill in the blanks.
Nice.
All right, tonight, guys, we're talking about the episode 10, Common Ground. We're going to do this just traditional style. You know, most of you that's watched the show knows what's going on. We're going to go around the panel. I'm going to start with Chris. Man, give me your overall thoughts on the episode.
I liked it a lot, actually. I think it's continuing right down where the other ones have been. There's a lot there that was interesting enough to keep me watching. And I thought it was interesting that after the beginning of this series, when we wanted them to leave Omega behind, it's now when people are starting to go like, she's not that bad that they left her behind. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But it played very, very well because you know what's going to happen now. I mean, so it really was interesting how they did that. So yeah, I just like the overall feel. And again, it's really nice to put them in a position they don't want to be in. The first 10 minutes are bitching about having to go and save a senator who is a part of the separatists. So,
oh, look at that!
Hey, Danny.
Hey, Danny.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm making it, bro.
Julio.
All right. Cool. Anything else, Chris?
No, that's about it.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go down to Danny. Danny, if you don't mind, tell me your overall thoughts on the episode.
I really think this show is getting better and better. I am pleasantly surprised. Dave Filoni is a wizard because I could not stand Omega at first. Now I am cheering for her and liking her. So I can tell that was his writing because I did not like her at first. But the fact that she got the Bad Batch off the hook, she's showing her worth. I like the little relationship between them at the end. I like the way she's developing a relationship with at least 2 out of the 4 of the Bad Batch. She has a relationship with Wrecker and with Hunter. We haven't seen so much with Echo and
Tech.
Smart Q Tech. But,
Tech.
I'm really liking it, man. I know it's a lot of side missions, but the missions are interesting to me. So I'm liking it.
Awesome.
Way better.
Are you here? Are you here for a minute, or you got to dip here shortly? Danny?
I'm here for a minute.
Okay. All right. All right.
I'm here for a minute.
Kashkar. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Kashkar. What's your overall thoughts, man?
I really liked it. It's just like I have to echo what Danny said. It's just getting better and better. Omega's not as annoying as at all. I actually liked how she's been developing these last couple of episodes, and especially this one. Right, everybody has their strengths out of the clones, and she's just demonstrated one of her biggest strengths, right, as a tactician. So I think it was a great episode.
Awesome. Dandelion, what's your overall thoughts?
Oh man, I was really disappointed this week. I thought the story seemed really kind of pointless, and I don't know, it didn't do anything for me at all. It seemed the conflict seemed kind of forced, and I enjoyed it a lot less than I did last week, where it actually seemed to be going somewhere interesting, and then this week it was kind of like a bit of a down for me.
Wow, I didn't realize we invited comics on here. Oh wow.
Wow.
Nindroid, talk to me, man. What's your overall thoughts?
Overall, I really enjoyed this week's episode. It is getting better and better. I really liked Omega a whole lot this episode. I think she's very progressing, and I really enjoy her and Sid's little relationship. I thought that was a very key thing within this episode. Now, this episode, though, overall to the whole story, it looks a little bit like this was filler-ish, but it's not, because it's actually giving Omega character development, in which I really enjoy that. Also, I just like that we're finally having a break episode after like 2 huge episodes, or 3 even.
Yeah.
Captain Rex and all of that. So, very great episode, I'll say.
All right. Tim, what you got, man? Your overall thoughts?
It wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't my favorite, but it was okay. I did like the relationship between Sid and Omega, and I did like what they did with the GS8 is the robot's name. I do like how that character just kind of like, she worked well, or whatever. That robot worked well with the crew. At first they just pushed the robot in there, and they're like, "What the?" And then it just kind of went along with the plan. So I think that did really well with that. And then like the action, the animation was really good, like the explosions and stuff. But yeah, I liked the episode, but it wasn't like something special. And then I'm sure we all caught the Admiral Thrawn was in there. That was Admiral Thrawn, right?
No,
it was not.
One of his species, though.
Yeah.
They said his name twice in the background. They said that there's 2 times they said it. Like I captured on, like I videotaped it, and I set like time markers.
Hold on.
No, but that wasn't Thrawn. For one, Thrawn has red eyes.
Yeah.
And that wasn't.
I don't think it was a species, actually. I'm looking back.
Well,
at it
the blue skin are known as Chiss,
Mhm.
but I don't know who else has blue skin. The Chiss is the only one we've seen.
Yeah.
It doesn't have blue eyes, this guy.
Right. It looked like, remember back in the Clone Wars, Anakin and Obi-Wan went to this like cold snow planet with this blue skin chick. She was Chiss also.
The senator, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what this guy looked like, but it definitely wasn't Thrawn.
Yeah.
But yeah, my overall thoughts of this episode, I liked it. It was exactly what most people have said about Omega. They're finally giving her more character building. It's bringing the story along. Who she is, we now know what she is, or who she's related to, or how they're tying this stuff together. They're finally giving her purpose. She's a tactician. That's going to work well with them.
Strategist.
a strategist. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. You know, I was really not caring for it in the beginning, but it ended up being really good because now you get to see what Omega is, and you get to see the Bad Batch back in action the way they should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go in, get it done, get out, whatever it takes, anything possible. So I liked it. It was a good episode. I can't wait for the next few to come. All right, we're going to dip into this. Chris, you know the layout, man. What'd you like about it?
I liked the mission, the generic mission, and they had to trust this guy because I mean, okay, I didn't think they were going to get double crossed during that. I mean, a lot of people I think that Sid's going to double cross them. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. But I did like the fact that they at least, and I think we talked about this on Loki, how they make you think one thing and then they just automatically take it away. No, this drew out throughout the episode that, man, they're going to get double crossed. This is a setup. This is a setup. This is a setup. And it wasn't. The guy worked with them. I mean, he said, go down there. That's a dead end. I'm not, and you know, there's a lot of trust going on here. This guy sent to be saved. So he expected them, but they have no clue what they've walked into. They don't know. You know, I really liked that part of it. The whole bar scene, it was okay. I liked the fact that she ends up, you know, convincing Sid to let her play, and then she plays enough to get their debt repaid, which is kind of her fault, her and Wrecker's fault, because a lot of that was for the stuff that they constantly were going to. So that that worked.
The very
out.
Expensive popcorn,
whatever the fuck it is.
That's the most expensive Cracker Jacks I've ever seen.
Was it Tech or what's the other one? The Android guy. That's not Tech. Echo. Yeah, Echo. Was it Echo looking at it and like sniffing it? Like, what the fuck is this?
That was Tech. That was Tech. Okay. Yeah, man. I was like
eyeballs.
Like, dude, eat the shit. Come on.
But I liked that she did that, and that now paves the way that if we want to leave Sid and make Sid a secondary character, Sid's kind of a main character. Sid is the plot, the thing that is moving the plot, is sending them places and stuff. Now she doesn't have to be. She can be a part of this still, but she doesn't have to be the driving force behind why they're doing what they're doing. Because they're paid off now. So now this allows us to open up, and now they can go after Crosshair. And I liked that. I this whole episode, while it's not as good, I think, as last week, I do think, while there's very little that absolutely happens in this episode, it does the one thing that we've talked about with other things, especially the Marvel stuff, is it checks off some of the things we have to check off before we get to the end. Okay, they've paid off their debt. They now they're doing this, they're doing that. And when you do that, now there isn't a question on the final episode. Well, how are they going to do this? How is this happening? How is this happening? What are they going to do about this, this, and this? They are, as they're adding things to their list that have to get taken care of in this series, they're checking it off. Maybe not a lot at one time, but this episode definitely checks it off. Now, does that mean they had to go and do this? Well, some people say, no, she paid off her debt. Well, I think she paid off her debt along with the fact that they got the guy, because that was part of the money too. So I liked how it worked out.
Yeah. All right, Danny, what did you like about it?
I agree with Chris. I love the simplicity of the mission, how they went in and showcased their skill set. Each one of them shined in a particular area of it. It wasn't any kind of double cross. They went in, went out, no hiccups. Perfect precision, basically what I come accustomed to seeing the Bad Batch do in the previous, in the Clone Wars. They really showcased them in this one, so I really like that. Also, I kind of like the kind of homage and throwback to the interrogation droid that we first saw when Darth Vader used that droid against Princess Leia. He used that same kind of droid against that Emperor, whatever he was, whatever his title was, before the Bad Batch came in. So I like where they used that. To me, this is a really solid episode. Like I said, I'm really Omega has really grown on me, and I'm very interested in seeing the next few episodes to see how exactly this is going to play out.
Okay. Guys, Car, what you got, man?
I'm going to echo a little bit what Danny and Chris said, but most importantly, what I think this was, it was a great development on the clones part, right? Because they're going to do a mission that is specifically to save someone they were fighting against, a separatist leader. So for me, it shows that they're unlearning everything they had to learn, and who they had to unlearn what their directive of fighting for the Republic. They had to unlearn that now the separatists are actually their allies. So their enemies actually the people that are saving them right now and keeping them safe and giving them these missions in order for them to survive. So I really like how that's coming about. The whole thing with Omega, I know, learning how she's a tactician. She shows what she's worth, and seeing movements ahead of time before those things happen. By forgot what that game was called. Ninja, do you remember what that game is called?
Hollow Chess.
Okay, that's what it's called, Hollow Chest. I thought I like it different than that. So the Hollow Chest, obviously, she's a clone, but has heightened senses. So yeah, I love the whole mission, the simplicity of it, the fact they had to trust they had to trust the separatist politician when they said go down this and it's a dead end. So obviously it shows that they're at the point that they have to trust people, even if their guts may tell them not to. So it goes to prove they're starting not to think as soldiers, but a little bit more human, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I really like what's going on right now. It's like Danny said, Filoni, he writes good stories, and I'm just frustrated that they didn't give him the trilogy to do that, because we might have gotten something a lot better.
I agree wholeheartedly. Nendroid, what'd you like about it?
Well, I feel like this episode, actually, my biggest pro with it is that it actually feels like a Clone Wars episode. Like, I sat down and watched it, this whole week I was watching old Clone Wars episodes with my friends during backstage and everything. And now I'm just coming to this and I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be, of course, different. No, it actually feels like a Clone Wars episode. And it actually kind of gives me vibes that this is a start to like an arc, believe it or not. I don't know if anyone else got those feelings or vibes from it, but we might actually see the Senator again by the end of this season. I don't know where or when, but we might. Also, yes, I will say I love that the clones, especially Echo, he was very like, we're going to save a senator that was part of the Separatists. And it just gives me feelings and callbacks to Clone Wars, where to the Separatist Senate, if you remember, with Padme and all of that. And it really, because they actually mentioned the same planet within that episode, in which I really liked it. Then also, of course, Omega, with her character development with Sid, we actually see Sid more as a character, a very well done character so far. And I also like the whole strategy thing because it makes sense, because she's basically Boba Fett's own sister. So
right,
yeah. And also I like the little heart-to-heart moment with the hollow chest and Hunter thing. Overall, this episode feels like Clone Wars, and I think that's what we're supposed to get. So I'm pleased with it.
Okay. All right. Dandelion, what'd you like, if anything at all?
I didn't know. I liked things about it. There was just I had some issues with it overall. I had some issues with the overall, but no, I liked the battle scenes were really, really well done. I love the visuals on those. I actually really like the throwback to the little droid that's the torture droid. that was pretty cool. I really liked the I can't remember what you said what the name of that droid was, the protocol droid who called for them to come and help the senator.
Oh, GSA.
A fun character, I thought. She was quite good. They seem to, I don't know, they seem to really do a good job with these like tiny side characters. You know, like, I mean, Sid is a really interesting character, and that droid was really interesting. So yeah, I liked that about it.
Okay.
That's all I got to say on that.
All right, Tim, what'd you like about the episode, man?
I think my favorite part is probably mostly the senator, kind of towards the end, where he's kind of questioning. He's like, you know, he doesn't want to leave his people, and he had like, I don't know, it felt like a very real moment. And then they told him this is not the time. You know, you got to think about the end game, not the short game. And I thought it was really good on that part. And then also I like the fact that the whole vase thing was kind of funny because the GS8 kept trying to protect it. And then when it breaks, he's like, I didn't really like that vase. So I thought that was kind of cute or whatever. And the video game Omega, I do like the fact that Omega feels like essential now. And even if she wasn't in the episode, she like really showed her worth and got the respect of Hunter. And I like how Hunter kind of put her in the place at the start, because it's like they're like poking fun at the people complaining already, like they already knew, because Omega, it seemed like she was like always kind of falling into victory, or would always come in to sweep, or never listen to him, I guess is my point. And what Hunter did is kind of outsmarted her in a way, like mentally, because he was like, she's like, I want to come along and be a part of the team. And he's like, you are a part of the team, but this is what we need you to do. And she was just like, oh. So yeah, those are a couple points that I liked.
Okay. Yeah, I liked a lot of the stuff I saw, and I agree with everybody. It did make me feel like that I was watching an episode of Clone Wars, because you got the ATTEs in there, and you know that's just classic Clone Wars stuff right there. You know, and actually them fighting. You know, that stormtrooper was dead on with that shot. You know, it's like these are the Gen 1 stormtroopers. They're being taught by clones. You know, they're actually more efficient than what we later see. Now, I'm not trying to dog on the stormtroopers at all, but we get to see, you know, their beginnings, because these are not clones operating these vehicles. These are conscripts, and it's wonderful to see, you know, to see the beginning like that. Omega. What we saw, I was not expecting. I actually like that, because I thought, well, Sid's going to just have her doing chores and she's going to be unhappy and mopey. Oh, great, another Omega episode. You know, but no, she actually proved her worth. She pulled the group out of their debt, and I thoroughly liked that. That was a great job, and I agree with Danny. You know, Filoni knows how to do this. He's been doing this. You know, he's got his animation down. He's got his timing down so far, but we're just going to have to wait and see what the rest holds, and season 2, if there is one. Trying to think. No, that's about it. It's real simple, because you know I like the whole general episode. It was it's definitely getting better. Definitely, like I said, from the very first episode, this is going to be the slow burn, and we're finally getting kicked off, and we're finally getting started and moving in the direction. So I can't wait to see how it it ends up. Now here comes the fun of the show. Buckle up and hold on, everybody. Chris, what didn't you like about it?
Okay, as much as I liked what Omega did and the very little parts she's in, I don't like that scene. It's like, I won't say exploitation, but Disney conflicts me on what they're really trying to show people. One minute they won't do one thing, but then they'll put a kid in a betting situation to win money for somebody else. I'm like, it boggles the mind why they're willing to go down the path of some things but not others. And like, when they show some of the deaths we've seen in this series so far have been pretty brutal. So it's like I asked the question when I see stuff like that. I'm like, so why don't they have an issue here? But like next week, watch it. They'll be squeaky clean about everything or something. It's like, I don't know.
Disney's trolling you.
Yeah, no shit.
Nobody's virtue signaling about that. As soon as somebody gets outraged about it, they'll start virtue signaling, and it'll all have to go under the rug.
Yep, they got you figured out, Chris.
Signaling.
That's a good point, Chris, that you make.
But there's that. I don't know. I think it could have been everything was a little too easy on the extraction. Even though the guy told them where there's the underground tunnels, they could have had more than just the one breakdown where they get shot at like that. I think a series of pitfalls that really like they had to run for it or something. I don't know.
I only spent time in the episode to do that.
And that's a problem. We always talk about timing. It's like Marvel should get this time and these should get Marvel time and back and forth. And it's like I'm not sure they got to find that way of saying, okay, here's the good time to do it with. But I think that the pacing was done okay and all that. It's primarily the what Omega was actually doing. They should have just shown her whispering to Sid and let Sid win. I guess is part of my thing. It's just weird that they're the way they did that. And then I would have thrown a few more pitfalls at them on their way out of during the extraction, but not too much. Like I said, it was a very, very good episode. So there you go.
Okay. All right. Danny, what didn't you like, man?
I mainly didn't like the fact that I thought it was too short. I could have stand to see another 15, 20 more minutes of it. Like I said, it's really piquing my interest. I am completely happy with how easily the extraction went because was some of it believable? No. I mean, broad daylight, they sneaking through the city, dodging the stormtroopers, and now I think earlier they were using lethal lasers. Now they're using the stun lasers. I guess that's Disney way of I guess cutting down the violence, I guess, so to speak. They didn't seem to pick up that until they met Rex. But as far as hating it or not liking anything about it, I really can't say anything other than I wish it was just a little bit longer. I wish now that another series would be 20 minutes and this would be an hour.
What did I just say?
Huh.
Yeah.
But, other than that, man, like I said, a solid episode. It started off slow, the real slow burn, but now I am really anxious to see the next episode. So I'm ready for that.
You're becoming invested in it.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Gaishkar, what didn't you like, man?
I actually liked everything on the episode. Besides the point that Chris made, I didn't really think of it. The one with Danny making about the stuns, I think they picked it up from Rex or from the last time they were together. Because deep down they're still brothers, right? They're still related, so they don't want to really truly kill their own brothers. So I think that's why they're stunning them instead. I would have to echo what Danny just said. I wish the episode was longer.
Those are the new stormtroopers, aren't it? Those aren't the clones, are they?
No, they're still clones.
They're clones.
Some of them are clones, but the majority of them we're starting to see now are the conscripts, the Gen 1 stormtroopers. They're trying to phase. This is the process where they start phasing the clones out.
I thought they were just regular stormtroopers. I didn't realize they were still the clones. Okay.
Okay. All right. Nendroid.
All right. So overall, there was barely anything that I hated or disliked besides probably, yes, I do agree it should have been longer. But my biggest thing was actually a nitpick. and that is that the Admiral's name is Admiral Board. Out of all things, like what the heck? What the heck? Like they could have created so much of a better name than that. All right, we have Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn. We have Krennic. We even Hux. All right, and then we have Borg or whatever the heck. It's like, come on, you guys can come up with some better names. But besides that, I mean, like, it should have been longer, in my opinion. So that's all my nitpicks.
Okay. All right, Dandelion. Let it loose, darling.
Okay, what I didn't like was they set us up with all these like little hints of conflict. Like the whole thing with, it's a separatist leader and now we're going to rescue him. And that was it. They don't even mention it again. There's no arguing about it. It's just, we're just going to go do it. Oh no, it was a separate. And also, why are they still like feeling loyalty to the Empire, right? Like the Empire is after them. So either there should not have been any conflict and they should have been happy to go rescue somebody or not. I do agree that character will probably show up again because, of course, it's like supposed to be another step in their leaning towards joining the rebellion, right? Like that seems to be where it's leading. But there wasn't really any actual soul searching. I mean, in the vase, of course, the vase was going to get broken. Whenever there's a priceless vase in a movie or a show, someone's going to get hit in the head with it later, especially if someone's like, it's their favorite vase. And then you just know it's not their favorite vase. And that they're going to break it the second they get a chance to. That happens every time. Yeah, the same thing with like the whole there was no question of trusting the guy. Like if they really did have an issue, I didn't feel the conflict that I felt this episode could have had. I think there could have been a lot more tension between the guy they were rescuing and them. The whole thing was just like pick it up and sweep it along, and there wasn't any soul searching. There wasn't any conflict. Even at the end when he's like, I can't leave my people. And they're all like, yeah, you can, let's go. And he's like, okay, let's go, right? Like he didn't really, everything was just sort of like, just brought up in loose terms and then just like, whoop, that's it, we're done with it. Like there wasn't really they didn't dig into that conflict at all. Like, I didn't feel any of it didn't feel any intensity. It was just sort of like, this is a conflict. But it didn't feel like a conflict. It felt like they were just saying it was a conflict. I didn't have any issue at all with the Omega stuff. She's hanging out with a bunch of like mercenaries and living in a bar by the looks of it. So the fact that she ended up like gambling didn't seem like a stretch. So that seemed fine to me. But yeah, just that whole like, they never really dug into the conflict for me. Like they just sort of mentioned that it was a thing.
Because they were on a strict mission. It was just an extract.
No, I know, but there was never any like conflict with that. Like they didn't mind. There was never any sort of like, they never questioned the guy. Like, he's like, trust me. And they're like, okay, we'll trust you. Right? Like right there, you were saying you wanted a little bit more things to happen. Maybe they shouldn't have trusted him once. It was just like blanket, we'll trust you right from the get-go.
Yeah, you got a good point there. If they to go down that way, he could have said, that's a dead end. I'm not going that way. Right, yeah. And he keeps going his own way. And then it turns out bad for him. They get surrounded and then somehow they get out of that. And then the guy says, listen, go this way. We're going to, and then tells them why he says to go that way.
They just never dug into that potential. Like they mentioned these things were an issue, but they were never an issue. There was never any issue. There was never
every time somebody
had rescuing like a separatist leader from before. There was never
every time somebody. Sorry,
but it was just okay, whatever.
Yeah, every time that they had a chance to stand by what they said, everybody in this episode went the opposite direction.
Yeah, they just went along.
Even Sid, about that? Oh, well, I don't care. I'm just here to watch you right now. But no, as soon as she finds out she can do that, she's like, oh, okay, come on, let's do it. And then, I don't know, everything.
No, it's because she saw money and she's all about
yes, that's true. But everybody though, in this episode had a chance and didn't do anything.
But you see, the vase is symbolic of what the clones are right now. Before they were valuable, and right now they're not valuable anymore. They have to survive. So no matter if that's the state of their reality.
Oh, I know.
What do you want them to disagree? They're on a mission that they're getting paid for. No, I'm just saying it as well. And for them, they have no choice but to trust them because that's their money. That's their precious cargo. Is that guy?
That's
so
my point. There were all these things that should have been conflicty, or that they implied there was conflict. If they had not implied there was any conflict, I would have totally bought this episode. Hey, here, go rescue this guy. They're like, okay, let's do it. And they go and rescue the guy. Right? I didn't feel as though he might betray them. I didn't feel as though they were going to get thrown under a bus. It just felt yep, we're just going to go rescue this guy. There was no reason to have this oh, he was a separatist senator, so we're against him. Right? It didn't need to be there. Right? They just sort of threw this conflict stuff on, but they never delved into it being conflict, and it never really played into the story. It never made a difference. If they just did, go rescue this guy, and they just go rescue the guy, that would have been the same episode. It would have made just as much sense. They didn't actually have trust issues or conflict. There was none of it. Didn't actually play into the story. That's what bothered me with this episode, right? It was just that the conflict was pointless because they never actually made the conflict be relevant to the story. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, Tim, to have to follow.
Oh, it's fine.
Sure?
I agree with you. It's like making a cake and having icing, but with no sprinkles. Meaning, there should have been a little bit more to make this situation a little bit more intense, or there's more at stake. I get what you're saying. I get what Bhaskar is saying. Is that how Basco?
Guy Scar. His name is
Basco. Yeah,
Basco scenario. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, just a little bit more to make it, because I didn't think the episode was bad. I didn't think it was
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I was okay. There were some cool moments in there. It was hard to I really liked the last episode with Cad Bane, so I was on a high trip on that, and then I watched this. I'm okay, it went down a little bit. But I guess a major nitpick would be Omega gambling. Why didn't they do that before? If it would have happened earlier in the story, they wouldn't have been in that situation, and they could have had it more focused on the Empire. That's kind of my only thing. But to counter that, you could say, well, maybe they weren't at that level of comfortability with Sid. Because I did like how Sid was kind of feeling bad for Omega, and it made Sid a little bit more of a relatable character. But yeah, I felt like it did need more, and I was kind of confused by the phasers thing, because they use the phasers and then they're trying to kill them, the Empire is, and then when the Bad Batch shows up to save them, they shoot missiles down or whatever, and that could have killed them. So it's I know they probably don't have any phaser things from the ship, but yeah, it's just, yeah, that's all I got.
We lost JJ.
JJ, you're muted.
Maybe.
Oh, sorry. There's explosions and stuff going on outside. I was trying to wait until they got done. There was very little I didn't like about this. My main nitpick was the droid. Because by Star Wars standards, to me, that droid was just too human. The way it moved, the way it acted, because protocol droids aren't that animated, so to speak. Not, some of them are, some of them aren't, depending on who made them, depending on their design. But the droid just, I don't know, lost it for me. I like the rest of the episode, even the tanks, what the guys are going through. It was just, I don't know, man. It's that droid. The senator too. All right, the senator too. We may see that senator again because, once again, as you guys were stating, that was just too easy, just way too easy. There should have been more strife in there, because you're taking two sides that had been fighting for almost 5 years at this point, and then now you want to go be buddy. That don't make no damn sense. Kind of like what Daniel was talking about. A simple way of putting it is, the episode was too typical. Yeah, of course, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. There's just, it was just too typical.
Very predictable.
Yeah, very predictable. But still, being the animation that it is, I love the animation. They're finally, showing what they can do again. It felt like a Clone Wars episode, but it just, it wasn't all that bad, but it wasn't all that great either. Every episode has its problems. But yeah, very little, man. That droid just kind of hit me the wrong way, and I guess that's everybody's got something.
I can't decide what's noisier, Chris's keyboard or the fireworks at your place.
Fireworks.
No, they're right out my
man.
front
Your
yard.
keyboard's pretty noisy. Kind of sounds like fireworks.
That's awesome.
My roommates and the family are out front right now, blowing up the neighborhood. Okay,
all right.
They're literally right in the front yard.
Nice.
Okay, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we cut to that part of the episode. Chris, give me a grade and your predictions of the episode.
I'll go strong B plus, maybe an A minus. I liked what the episode did for all this. Took care of a loose end, which is the money they owe Sid, and it accomplished just enough to keep me interested and just enough to move the story to a new point. After this, they can run and go after Crosshair. They could do whatever. I mean, who knows? So now it's pretty much square one for them again. They can actually leave the place they've been for 3-4 episodes now.
Okay. What was your grade again?
It's a B plus, maybe an A minus, but I'll stick with B plus.
Okay. All right. Dandelion.
I'm going to give it a C minus. Again, it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't too strong. As far as predictions, it just occurred to me that at some point they are going to wind up on Alderaan with baby Leia.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee that. Well, okay, don't guarantee it, but I suspect that. Don't know when. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see now that their debt is cleared. What sort of? I'm going to assume they're probably just going to keep doing jobs for Sid, just for money. Because I mean, they're probably not going to have the kid just like play hollow chess for cash. Draw too much attention.
I agree.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they actually start developing some like I was thinking maybe the senator might wind up hiring them or something. I mean, again, the plot seems to very slowly be leading towards them sort of joining or working with more of the rebellion than the Empire, obviously. But
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to guess probably a bounty hunter will show up next time.
Another one?
Another one. I don't know which one. Because, we didn't have any of that this time, but I figure that'll show up pretty soon. That's it for me for predictions.
All right. Guyscar.
I'll have to give this an A minus.
A minus, okay.
Predictions.
You've been holding steady, man.
Predictions, definitely. Predictions. What's going to happen next? I think we're going to get to see Rex again. I don't think we're going to see I have a feeling we're not going to see a Jedi maybe until the last episode. So I believe that Rex we're going to get to see because it's going to tie in with was it Gregor and Wolf?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gregor,
So
Wolf, and
Gregor
Rex,
and Wolf
yeah.
is going to come into play at one point. So that's what I think. I think we're going to get to see those guys.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nindroid.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna give this also an A-. Really enjoyed the episode. As for my predictions, I still think we're gonna get Boba Fett sometime during the show, closer to the end, against Cad Bane, of course.
We can only hope.
Yeah, we can only hope at least. Rex, yes, I will agree. We will probably see him to connect to Rebels. Also, I think we're going to see that Admiral from Rebels. You know, before they went to Yavin or whatever, that one guy, which the Rebels, Kanan and Ezra, when they met up in season 1 with Ahsoka, if you remember that one.
Oh, you talking about the oh man, what was his name? The guy that eventually turned. Is that who you talking about? The guy
Yeah,
that
I'm
actually
pretty
turned
sure.
and became Fulcrum.
Hux.
No,
No,
not Hux.
no, no, not Callus either. It was like an
Callus. That's a,
it was an admiral with the rebellion. Actually, I think we're gonna see them maybe meet up with him and Bail Organa some point during the end of the thing. Yeah,
okay.
that's really it.
Okay. Tim, what you got, man?
Probably give it a C+. The last episode was just like, I absolutely loved it, so maybe that's why. But I don't know, the predictions, I kind of do think that Cad Bane and Boba Fett are going to be dueling at the end, and I think that everyone they've encountered with, they're going to kind of bring them together like the Avengers some way. Like they're setting things up. I don't know exactly what's going to happen at the end, but that's all I got there.
Yeah, they think bad of that. Whatever just blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, now that they have Omega back, what's the objective here? Or to get back their friend?
No, that's still probably one of their objectives, but still, you can never forget they're on the run from the Empire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so that can end up any way possible. We may lose them. We may see a second season.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We don't know how that's going to end up yet. But me personally, I'll give this episode, what did I say? A B+. It wasn't the best episode, but then again, it definitely wasn't the worst. More character building is great. We need that in a new series. They definitely did that for Omega in this episode. Good or bad or ugly, she put her skills to use, and her skills ended up helping the team. I don't approve of kids gambling, but it showed
How old is she supposed to be?
She's probably 10 or 11ish, maybe.
Yeah, probably 10.
And it's not like I give a shit.
I figured she's maybe more 12, but
it's not that I give a shit necessarily. I just find it again, when we talk about some of the stuff we talk about on the other shows, and that basically it's the same parent company. It's like I try to figure out why they let some stuff go and they don't let. I mean, because literally, trust me,
they don't really care. They don't really care.
But
it's all about
until some parenting organization comes out and says, "Oh, they were letting the kid do that," and it'll happen. It'll happen.
All virtue signaling. That's all they do. Disney's always virtue signaling. They don't really give a shit about any of that stuff. They just jump on every bandwagon.
Disney's going to be Disney. We can't change
Disney's
it.
Disney's going to Diz.
House of the Mouse is basically ruling all the entertainment now.
I get all the money, boys and girls.
Yeah, we can hate it, we can love it, we can like it, dislike it, but we're just individuals, and we're individuals that the company cares less about. But some of the content's good, some of it's not so good. We got to sit by like the good little drones and just eat what we're fed. And I hate to say it that way, but that's what it's all come to. And I'm not talking about just Disney. I'm talking everyone. We just, if we want to watch this stuff, we take what we're given. We can bitch, gripe, and complain about it, but they ain't gonna change it. They don't give a shit. And Zack Snyder was the exception, but even then, it wasn't about us. In the end, I do not believe it was about us. But that's the world we're living in, y'all. We can either like it or dislike it. Talk about it, gripe about it. Try to get people to change, but we're in that day and age now that this is our new reality. This is our new normal, and there's a lot of people that are not accepting it, and I'm one of them. I'm not accepting it. I'm old school as they come. Yes ma'am, no ma'am. I hold the door for anybody, man or woman. Don't matter to me. And it's a shame. It really is. But because it's affecting everything. Our entertainment, our music. The only thing I hasn't really touched yet is our food. Because one day we're going to get this dish, and somebody's going to say, "Oh, that's a ist dish, man. You need to change that. Do something different with it." Guys, it's food. Get over it.
I don't know. There's a lot of virtue signaling around food.
Yeah, everything. It doesn't matter. Food, entertainment, TV and movie, music, clothing. It's all there. We can only hope for change, but change is happening, but it's not not the change we were looking for. And I've said this a dozen times, and I'm going to say it again. It's 2021. We as a people should be further along than what we are. A lot further along than what we are.
Well, they like to feed their culture wars. It keeps everybody at each other's throats.
Yeah. History is continuing.
If we all got along, we might notice the sneaky shit they're doing.
Yeah, history is continually repeating itself. And the sad thing is, nobody knows that because our history is getting deleted. It's getting erased. But, with that being said, thank you for letting me go on my little rant. With that being said, guys, I want to thank everybody on the panel for showing up on the 4th of July. I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat that showed up, Drop Shop, I seen you in there, man. It's great to see you. And we're going to go ahead and end this out. I hope everybody has a good remaining 4th of July, a safe one.
Yes. Happy blowing things up day.
Yeah,
Happy blowing shit up day. Hi. It was so great. See, look, I mean.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Do I need to put you in back for a minute, Chris? You're all right. I'll put you in back.
Describe all right.
But anyway, I want to thank everybody that showed up in the chat. Everybody on the panel, thank you. Everybody in the chat, thank you. We greatly appreciate it. With that, everybody.
And don't forget to thank Chris's head that we got to stare at for most of this episode.
No, he's giving me ideas for my hair. I think I'm going to let it grow out a little bit.
I'm texting my mom. Sorry, it's her birthday.
You could just turn your camera off when you're not looking at us.
Okay, everybody.
Pretend you're paying attention.
I am paying attention.
Everybody say good night.
Good night.
Good night.